open with a prayer from Detrell.
How about a re-pray?
Okay, that's fine.
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Put me on the spot like that.
They put me on the spot all the time.
Let me see. Hold on a moment.
Just take your time. I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot.
Well, you have to, oh God, I cannot manage this life for myself, not without you. Please make our lives, we cannot manage this life for ourselves, not without you. Please make our lives what you want it to be, what you prefer it to be. Do not allow us to act on our own, but only in obedience to you. Bless us to hear you and bless us to obey you. We look to you for forgiveness, our Lord, and to you is our destination. Amen.
Amen.
Very good. Thank you.
Good.
This is how we're gonna tonight will flow. I'm gonna cover a few administrative items, and then we're gonna open up the floor to talk about anything you want to talk about. We had previously scheduled to recognize a special person tonight, but her calendar would not allow her to be here. So we're gonna have to shift her to a later date. And I'll let you know when that person will be available. And I might have to shift a couple of hosts around. So I might be calling you, Detrell, or whoever it is scheduled for next month or whenever this person is available. I'm still waiting for my daughter to reschedule this person to be with us for recognition. So, but we'll do that, and then we'll open up, like I said, open the floor, talk about Thanksgiving. You can talk about upcoming Christmas, the entire 2022, or anything you want to get off your chest. That's what we're going to do tonight. Okay, so this is kind of a free for all, and I expect for you all to do most of the talking, and I'm going to do less. FYI, the last 4 sessions, cousin sessions, have been uploaded to YouTube, thanks to my oldest grandson, Jamel. He takes care of that, along with Gregory. Since we were together, I've been made aware of a couple of deaths in the family. Morris Cooper Jr., I didn't know him. The other person was Madeline Meredith Spain, age 85, of Bridgeport, Connecticut, originally from New Kent County. New Kent County, Virginia. He was funeralized this morning at 11 a.m. here in Richmond, and I was able to attend, and a nice service. She was originally a member of Rising Mount Zion Baptist Church down in New Kent, so her pastor and some of the congregation were there. Surprising to me was the lack of family support. Her parents had numerous, maybe 10 siblings. So you can see the offsprings of all of those siblings. Is you're talking about maybe 100 siblings I can think of right off the hand by looking at our genealogy tree, and only about, I would say, maybe 15 or 16 relatives, immediate family relatives, were there at the funeral. That was surprising to me. As you remember, last month, Herb Meredith said his aunt had just died the day before. This was the aunt he was talking about. Herb was not there today for whatever reason, but I saw his brother. His brother looks just like Herb. They look just alike. And I met him for the first time. I said, "You look just like your brother." He said, No, I don't. I don't. He's just not as fat as Herb, our cousin Herb. So, but I wouldn't say that to him. But anyway, I got to meet him, and I got to meet Madeline's only surviving child. She had a son, Thomas, who died within the last couple of years. But the last time I saw Madeline was when we were had a family reunion here in Richmond, which I think was 2000, I don't know, 17 or whatever it was. The last time we were here, and she came down from Connecticut for our family reunion. And on our website, we have a couple of pictures, courtesy of Gregory here, of her, a couple of pictures of her, one with our late cousin, Mary Meredith. I go back and look at those pictures and say, and reminisce what a great time we had with Madeline that day. So we had a nice funeral this morning, and I was fortunate enough to be here in Richmond for that. I did talk to her daughter, and she wanted me to come to the repast real bad, but my schedule just would not allow it. I hope that she will attend our family functions going forward. Madeline had a whole bunch of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and I sat there and looked at them today, and I said to myself, they don't know who we are. I'm talking about the extended family, and it is just a shame. It's just a shame. So I wanted to pass that along to you. Those were the only two deaths that I've been made aware of this month. Reminder on the scholarship fund donations and the seed money donations. The monies have have come to a trickle since the family reunion. I don't know why, but we still need donations for both of those categories, especially the seed money category, because since reorganization, we don't really have funding for our executive committee like we used to. So I'm not sure how we're going to solve that problem going forward. That's something for the executive committee and myself to discuss. I also want to remind you, we did get a contribution earlier this month from Amazon Smile. So please continue to support their cause of donating some monies to us from purchases that you make through our the organization. In other words, the internet address that we provide for you to buy products that would automatically give us a small percentage of whatever you pay for on most items. So I'm going to send out a reminder of that in the next couple of days or so. So the next item is, hopefully by Monday, I will have sent out a fall/winter newsletter. I'm working on it now. I'm just about to the point of finishing it up. I've just got to tabulate who has paid donations this year and who have, excuse me, I'll let you know who has not. This is a reminder. I repeat, a reminder, a friendly reminder to let those people know who have not contributed to, in other words, paid the scholarship money, donation, and also the seed money for this year. Again, it is a friendly reminder. So I will do that over the weekend. Hopefully, by Monday, I should be able to get this out to you. Reorganization, as you know, that is moving along. That has happened. We still got a few things to button down. The executive committee does some question that needs to be answered, and we will do that when we have our first quarter executive meeting. As for the family reunion next year, I'm going to ask one of the people on the reunion planning committee to give us an update, either Melanie or Leslie or both.
Well, well, I mean, we've narrowed down location. It's in Williamsburg. The hotel is more of a resort, on a resort line instead of our typical hotel standard hotel. So it has more accommodations right there on site, and don't have to go off site. We're starting, I guess we should start forming the group soon. So if you guys want to help out with any groups or anything, I have the list of everyone who signed one of the forms at the questionnaires at the reunion, if they wanted to help out somewhere. So I guess we'll start putting those groups together and sending out probably emails of some type of communication so that we can start doing other things outside of the actual for the reunion, rather. So Connie, you got anything?
No, are we not naming the resort? Is that top secret?
I don't
Go ahead,
think
name it.
so. I mean, yeah, it's I
Now,
couldn't I just
the
can't
contract
remember the name of it.
It's
You can go ahead.
Kings Mill Resort in Williamsburg.
Have you nailed down a price that
No.
The
No.
registration price?
for the hotel?
Yes and no. We're still working out the final numbers.
Oh, okay.
We have a proposal.
Yeah.
And so we have asked for some adjustments to that proposal.
All right. Okay.
And then from there, we'll know the final numbers.
Gotcha.
Can you repeat the name of it again, Melanie? I'm sorry, Leslie.
Kings Mill.
Thank you.
Mhm. If any of you watched The Real Housewives of Potomac, they actually filmed there last year. So you can imagine it's top notch, definitely.
Look at Dorit shaking her head.
She's like, yeah, I've seen that one.
I'm a reality fan, a reality show junkie. So yes, I am familiar with it.
Yeah. If you remember
Very
when
nice.
I guess Mia threw the salad at somebody. I
Yes.
can't remember. Yeah, that's where it was.
I'm with you,
got me
Glenn.
beat. I got me beat. I've never seen the show.
Get your-
Hey,
Yeah. So that's
You
where it
like
is.
it.
I can't wait to eat at that restaurant. It was like out on the water.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. So
One of the things that came up was that there's wineries near. So I've been online in the last few weeks looking at, it's quite a few wineries actually in the area. Some are more, I see a hand waving. Some are more, some are more brewery type. So I was like, maybe not those, but I was thinking maybe of doing like one of the fundraisers to go see the wineries and go check it out. Maybe we can make some of the spots. Yeah, like, why not do a fundraiser for that? And then check it out to see if we could get some type of group rate maybe for the reunion to go over to the wineries. So I got down a lot of phone numbers and things, and hopefully next week will be our last big week. I'm hoping today was our last big week at work, and next week kids will get out of school. So then all of these attorneys will be taking their vacations and leaving us alone, because they had to have all their budget stuff and all the big stuff done by today. So hopefully nobody will be at work the next couple weeks and I can actually relax and do some stuff and try to call some of these places while I'm at work and get some prices, because I go to work so early in the morning, no one's open, and I get off in the evening and everything's closed. So I don't even take lunch break these days, just trying to get the year ended. So, but I got a few things. Hopefully we can do a fundraiser and go out there and see some stuff, maybe in the spring, the early spring. But it looks like they do they actually have something going on all year long though. So maybe
That's
early
good.
spring we can check them out.
and there's a casino in that area as well.
Yes.
So for those of you that like to gamble, horse racing.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of things on the resort too. It was golfing. If anybody got the survey that Rhonda sent out the week of Thanksgiving, a lot of the questions that come from that were on the survey come from the resort, asking like what type of activities you'll be interested. So it was what, golf, tennis, a tennis court.
They got a golf course.
Yes,
Golf
they
course.
do.
I'll bring my clubs.
Uh-oh.
Kayaking.
Yep, yeah.
I will hit the links.
The
I
spa.
stink, but I'll hit the links anyway.
Hey, why not?
Mhm.
Go for it.
Did she
Yep.
send the survey via email?
Yeah, because I didn't
Yes.
see it either.
I didn't get it. Or did
Leave
she
it
send
out.
it to everybody or just to you guys?
I don't think
I
it
didn't
went out
see
to
it
the
myself.
family at large.
I
You
didn't
don't
get
think
one.
so?
Okay.
Maybe that's why we didn't get as big a response as she
Right.
thought she was gonna get.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will make a note to ask her to resend it.
Yeah.
To the whole
Resend.
family.
Yeah.
To resend survey, because I've been looking for mine. I
You didn't
can't
get it.
find it. So I just thought it was me, but to hear you all say the same thing, it wasn't me, just me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I want, getting back to Greg's question, and I think Greg was really talking about your room rents,
Right.
room nights.
Oh, the room rate.
I want to say this, couple things. We all understand the prices have increased.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a result. The planning committee representatives, thank you. See, I got a good wife. She warmed up my coffee for me.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, you
It's
think you can
8:30.
warm mine up too?
She's waiting.
Y'all drinking coffee at 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
That's why y'all.
I
That's
have-
why y'all stay up all night.
Right.
This is
right.
already past my bedtime.
Oh gosh, no! I'm talking about Jimmy and Brenda staying up. At,
Oh,
You don't have a job, so
I get up at 5 o'clock.
oh
Go to
my.
work, so I'm late.
but
Fortunately, I don't have to work tomorrow though.
so the prices have increased just about everything. I mean, back
Oh,
in August, we were fortunate to get rooms at the Marriott. I think it was it $99 or something like that? I know it was close to
No.
$100 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And so, but this place is a resort. It offers a lot of things.
Mhm.
In other words, that whatever the room rate is, it's been many of the amenities are included in that. Yes. So that's how you look at it. And even though the contract has not been finalized, we think parking will be included in it also. So when you see what the rooms are going to cost per night, just kind of stop and say, look at what is in that room rate, because it's obviously going to be higher. So I hope we can kind of spread the word to family members. Don't be shocked. And it sounds to me a lot of the things you want to do is right there. Right there. And again, the committee representatives, the planning committee representatives who looked at hotels, looked at they looked at several places, and by far, we looked at the committee, the planning committee, looked at the proposals that came back, and this place offered the most for our money. For example, one place want to charge, I forget, $600 for a meeting room or something like that. This place that's included with our contract. It's things like that. You have to look at the overall big picture to see what you're getting, what kind of value are you getting for your dollar. So please, whenever you see the registration package come up, please understand what we're getting, we will be getting. And it sounds like a lot of the things you would go off to do, a lot of it's already there. Not saying you won't be going off, I'll give it off base, but off resort. But no, a lot of that stuff is already there. So kind of keep that in mind.
And then
Detrell, did you
also-
want to offer it?
Say that again.
I was getting ready to ask Detrell, did she want to offer anything from the meeting the other night?
I
that we
just
might have
think,
missed?
I think that we're in for a really good time, this upcoming reunion. Just from the things that are being planned, like a tour and a college tour and a historical tour and things that we don't normally have at our reunions.
The boat ride.
Boat ride, right? So it's gonna shape up to be something really, really historical, and I hope that we have family members who haven't had an opportunity to come out in the past, come out again. I mean, come out this time around, as well as those who have already been out.
Mhm.
That's the journey. That's the child I birthed.
Y'all look just alike.
Mhm.
You're so right. I think it's going to be special. And my personal high interest right now is the first night in which there'll be a reception for our past scholarship winners. That is, to me, is very special. You know, education is my hot button. I still can't get that across to some of my own grandchildren, but I am not going to stop trying. I'm not going to stop trying. But so I think I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that as many of the past recipients can be there as possible. And by that time, we'll probably have one or more new recipients. Hopefully, we will. So, and again, hopefully, all of them can get together, because that has never happened before. We've had, I don't know how many recipients, 20 some or whatever. And by the way, as you might have heard me say before, some of the recipients of this award are now doctors, master degrees, and they're doing well. They're young people in their 20s are buying their own homes. I mean, that's in this day and age to buy a home in your 20s. I was 23 when I built my first home. So, but that was back, you know, a few years back. I ain't gonna tell you how many, but and it was before my daughter was born. It is, so that tells you how long ago it's been. It's tougher now because of interest rates, of course, and the cost of homes. But that's tough. And to see these young people, and it's always seeming to be the girls that's doing this and being successful. I haven't figured out why that's that way. But anyway, real proud of the scholarship fund. I'm so thankful that all of you contribute to this worthwhile cause, and we see results. We really do. And by the way, Greg has agreed to join our planning committee because he's going to be in charge of video and photography.
Cool.
Oh, I did.
Let me.
You did. You did.
And by the
Oh, he
and by
didn't
the way,
know?
and by the way,
Voluntold.
But you know, Jimmy likes to volunteer people for stuff.
no, I sure did.
But actually, I did. I volunteered.
And I mentioned, and speaking of that, Greg and his work for us, I referred to Madeline's pictures that were taken the last time they were here in Richmond for a reunion, and those were pictures that Greg took, of course. So, and I forget to give him credit when I put pictures out. I should do that more often. And I apologize that I
I
don't.
don't even worry about that, man.
But if it's something taken at the reunion, you can rest assured it was probably taken,
Greg.
especially if it's a good picture. It was taken by Greg.
Yeah.
It won't take it by me.
Hey, look, I love doing it, and I don't mind doing it. I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can put my finger on the shutter.
We are really blessed because over the years we've had to go out and hire photographers, and it was not cheap.
Yeah.
Leslie might remember when we did that 2005 or whenever it was. We had
Yeah, some people still looking for their pictures.
There you go. You remember that? Yeah. So we thank him for that. We have family members that do things for nothing. They do it out of the goodness of their heart, and they do it for family reunions. That's what and why family reunions can be successful if you get
yeah.
enough people to work together and support what we're trying to do.
First one
The
first.
spirit, the spirit of getting together as family is what this is all about. Okay, so anyway, that's what's happening with the family reunion. That'll be August 3rd through the 6th of next year. And in the newsletter that comes out next week. Did you all receive a save the date email from Rhonda in the last few
Yes,
days?
now I did get that.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure that you did receive that, so you do have that. Next item I want to mention is I want to say thank you to those of you who supported our DC Association's Thanksgiving Day fundraiser centered around the 4:30 p.m. National Football League game that day. I won't mention the teams, but anyway, because one of them I can't stand. It start with a D, but anyway, it
I'm
was
with you.
successful. I do appreciate that, and I will remind you that it's fundraisers like that that keep the cost of what we're trying to do lower. An example was August 13th of this year. The registration cost price for individuals, especially the children, including the children, I should say, 30 and 15 was remarkable for what you got.
Yeah.
But that's due to things like this, it's seed money and other fundraisers that our local association did over the years. So that's why it's so important to do these fundraisers and support these fundraisers. And anytime I send something out like that football fundraiser, and if you don't understand, I make the mistake of not. I kind of assume everybody knows how this thing is done, how it's played. Basically, it's blind luck. It's like an acorn, a squirrel out here finding an acorn. Well, actually, it's the squirrels out here in the yard, they know where they hid their acorns, I guess. They go back and eat them. So they must remember. But anyway, all I'm saying is it's blind luck. And it's kind of fun to do and watch the scores and pull for a score rather than a team. So thank you for that. Any questions so far? I just got a couple of more things I want to cover real quick. Genealogy, we continue to work on genealogy. There will be a genealogy session during the reunion. I'm not sure who's going to do that. I don't know who's going to. Rhonda has not. She's still looking for somebody to do that. So but it's going to be we're going to have a session, and of course I will support them as much as possible. Whoever does it. We did have one wedding in the last 30 days that I'm aware of, and that was Carla Lemon's daughter of what's her name? Charles Irving Lemons of Lancaster. He married a guy by the name of, last name is Miles. I forget his first name. They were married that Saturday after Thanksgiving in Charles City, Virginia. He is a native of Charles City, Virginia. I think she was 49. I think it was 51. So that was a beautiful wedding. I saw the pictures on Facebook. Absolutely beautiful. Carla is a charming young lady, a very bright girl. I think she's graduate of, I want to say Norfolk State or even Old Dominion. She works here in Richmond at Channel 8 TV station as a editor or writer, both. She's very bright, very smart, very lovely girl. The Ted Herman Meekins birthday card project we are into about the 10th month of doing that. I've gotten some really positive feedback from recipients, and that makes me happy. I will try to continue this into 2023. The only question right now is funding. When I say funding, I mean stamps. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we send birthday cards to family members if we know their birth date and their mailing address. Just to say, this is from the Family Reunion Committee. We're thinking about you and have a great day. Some of you should have received those this year. The other biggest obstacle to doing that is having the correct mailing address, because people move and obviously they forget to let us know. That's just human nature. So we're going to see. I'm going to try to find out if I can figure out a way to find some money to do this for next year. I would like to try to continue to do that. Each card is personalized, so it is allegedly run by Melanie, but they're mail out of Silver Spring, Maryland. But anyway,
Yes,
doesn't
by
matter.
way
who
of
do-
Jenny.
it doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it gets there. So I just want to let you know that if I can find the money to do that in 2023, we will continue that for as long as we can.
Do you know around about how many you sent out this year?
I would say approximately 80.
Wow.
What I do in the middle of, I have a reminder on my phone every 15th of each month. I print cards for the following month, the next month, and get them ready so they'll be ready to be mailed out at the appropriate times. So that's. But next year I need $220 to keep the program going, and I don't know where that's going to come from right now. And just so you know, the sympathy card program that Ron Meekins handled, he does that completely. He finances that totally himself. That's just an FYI. I think that is very, very nice of him. He's been doing that for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
He has not asked, does he want us to reimburse him for that?
You know, postage is going January too.
Yes, goes up to 63 cents.
We might need to find another way. That's
well,
steep.
I have considered doing that, but
Yeah.
you know, unfortunately, a lot of people, a physical card is more personal. I know electronic cards.
Yeah.
I know emails are not costly, generally speaking, but people don't read the email. So I don't know.
That day, but they may read it a couple of days later. I mean, you got a electronic one, share it with everybody.
I say I'm torn between that. The bottom line is, if I don't have the money, it's not going to happen anyway. So that's it. So, but some folks have, for example, one of Alice Swan's daughters, professor, whatever her name is, up in Pennsylvania, shockingly, she received one. She was so excited. She did a video and posted it on our family page. She was shocked to receive that. That meant a lot to me, and I'm sure the people who read that in our family felt the same way. Let's see, Moto G Puro. Who is that? That's coming in. Does anybody know who Moto is? MOTO?
That's somebody's phone.
Oh, Motorola.
Yeah, that's a Motorola phone.
To me, if you don't have an iPhone phone, you don't have a phone.
Right, tell them,
I'm
Jimmy.
with you, Jimmy. Get a real phone.
I have
Team
Motorola.
Galaxy, Team Galaxy.
Get a real phone.
I have a Motorola, and it has just as many and just as good
Get a real
cameras as
phone.
that iPhone.
And I have a Galaxy,
There
Team
you go.
Galaxy.
Get a
There you
real
go.
phone.
Your pictures come out great, don't they?
Yes,
Narita?
they do. And I have a confession about the birthday card. I do not open mail, and Detroit can attest to this. Mail
Does not.
sits on my living room table. I do not open mail. I saw the card come in, and that was the only piece of mail I opened in the month of September.
See?
Wow.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
That tells
was
me
not open mail.
no, that tells me we mean a lot to her. We knew that anyway, but family means a lot to her. That's why she did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So find out who was Moto.
Hmm.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G Pure,
Please identify yourself or you might be removed.
for sure.
That's right.
Go
Because
on.
some
Once-
people log into they try to get on our Facebook family page, and they got these crazy names like Pepto Bismol or something. I don't know who Pepto is. Pepto Meekins. I don't know who you are.
Pepto
Yeah,
That's
dig
not your
it.
government name. And I reject them. Luckily, my late nephew, when he set that page up in consultation with myself, he put a clause in that. Identify how you fit into the family. And very few people do that. Luckily, I can do some research and make sure that they are family members and then allow them to come in. But they got these crazy Facebook names and then expect people to know who they are. No, I don't know who you are. Hello, I'm not saying this about Moto here. We're trying to find out who Moto G Pure is. Hello, Moto. Please speak up. You might be
Hello.
talking- sound like Herb.
Sound like
Yeah,
her.
Herb.
Yeah, this the Gita from the heater. Yes, sir. How's everybody? How's everybody
What
on
do
a
you
Friday
know about
night?
the Gator with the heater?
Oh boy.
Awesome hot sauce.
Oh boy. Yeah. Once upon a time.
Yes, sir. I know all about it.
Everybody sound
Um,
good. Think he done switched up on
well-
us a little bit. He got a Pittsburgh symbol on his shirt tonight. He done switched
I
up.
believe in a team.
Okay, I
the
got you. I got you.
I had to put the Commodores down. I had to do that. Commodore. The Commodores. I can't go with this Commanders of Commodores.
But don't they have a better record than Pittsburgh this year?
You waited until I decide that I might want to purchase a part of it to switch over.
Welcome, Herb. We talked about you. I talked about you earlier. So,
My ears was burning.
oh, that's why you logged in. But welcome. We've gone through. We've gone through the administrative items that I had to talk about. So you missed a lot. But the key things is I thank everybody for participating in the Thanksgiving Day fundraiser. Oh, I didn't tell you all. I touched on it a little bit. The Super Bowl fundraiser is now available. I did mention it to Greg earlier, and Greg asked about it, and Herb knows about that.
Yeah.
And but I just thank everybody for participating. The other thing I mentioned about, I met your brother today. He looks just like you.
Which one?
See, the one that looked well, the one I
The
saw.
one that looked like you.
He looked just like you.
I got a whole bunch of them.
And he said your mother was there, and I'm not sure which lady was your mother.
Well, I saw her. How come you didn't see her?
You weren't there.
Well, I saw her though.
You saw online. That's what he saw. He saw it online. That's what it was. So, but anyway,
I don't know
what
how you
you saw
missed her.
was-
She looked just like me.
I wouldn't wish. No. I can't agree with that. I agree. Your brother said he don't talk like you. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm. Which one was
But it-
that?
You saw him. You saw the video, didn't you see him?
I saw my mother.
Oh, you didn't see him. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, when you find out which brother it was, let me know.
You talk with him?
Yes, I did. I took a picture of him. Before this, I'll show you the picture in a second. Try to find my iPhone. But in the meantime, before it's over, I'll show you the picture so you can see identify which one. The reason I took the picture was I want to add it to, our genealogy, a picture to go with the name.
Mhm.
So anyway, the floor is open now to talk about anything we want to talk about. And you all go ahead and get started. Well, I'll go find my iPhone and come back and show her which brother was at the funeral today. All right, go ahead and talk. I'll be right back.
Okay. This is really important. Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
really
many
important.
people, it's not many extra people on this call outside of the little text message we have going. But a few of us were gonna do what is it called?
A vision board.
Vision board next weekend. Is that what we decided? Next weekend, if anybody wants to join in with us and do a vision board for 2023.
Planning ahead.
Hmm.
I said planning ahead and affirming some things before it comes to fruition.
Getting it ready.
Amen.
I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Hmm.
So Melanie, you're gonna send out the details?
Yeah, I guess I can use the same one that I sent in the chat
Mhm.
and just update the dates and everything. Do we want
Is there gonna be a Zoom call to get everybody together?
Yeah, I don't know why not. If Uncle Jimmy, if you could set that up for us. Do we want to do Friday or Saturday?
If we do Saturday, it has to be during the day,
Or Sunday?
at a 7 p.m. commitment.
Okay. Or Sunday, whatever's easy for y'all. I'll
Sunday might be good.
Sunday?
Sunday after church is fine.
Yeah. Can you create a flyer?
Mm-hmm. Did y'all get the one that I put in the chat last time?
It wasn't,
Yeah,
that
I
wasn't
remember
a
that.
flyer, that was like details.
I made a flyer. I'm trying to find out.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that.
What are we talking about here?
Vision board. Doing a Zoom vision board gathering. I'm trying to find out our little group chat.
Yes,
Tell
I
Pam
missed some.
to join us.
Hmm?
Tell Pam to join us next weekend.
I'm like her, but I don't even know what that is. Maybe I missed it when I walked away for a minute.
Vision board.
The designer vision board.
That's
You
when
haven't heard of that?
No, I'm AARP eligible. I don't know about
Oh,
stuff like
gosh.
that.
They don't do that in Churchill. They don't
Right.
do vision boards in Churchill.
Their
Church
vision
Hill.
is to get out.
Church Hill.
You asking for it, you asking for it.
And I'm sorry, I'm from Churchill, but
Church Hill.
But you know, I'm
vision
telling the
is-
truth, Melanie, right?
9
the
Mile
vision is to
Road.
get out.
Read what they're talking about church here, because they're saying this is an undevelopment area of town over here where I am.
It's
Well,
the
Kitty-
ghetto.
It's
we
the
used to
hood.
Development is being nice.
Back in the day, Kitty's Grill.
It's the ghetto.
See, it's
Where
not
is
together.
Church Hill?
At my
9 Mile
grandma's house.
Road.
You've been to my
Huh?
grandmother's house?
9
Yeah.
Mile Road.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Richmond?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's the ghetto.
Henrico.
Thank you, Greg.
Make
Henrico.
it seem
The
like
first time I went there, then when Jimmy was there, I was going to all these nice places. Then all of a sudden, I got on Mechanicsville Pike, and I said,
That's it.
"Oh,
That's
the
it. That's it. The Mechanicsville Pike.
Greg, you
Don't
make
even
it seem
change
like
that
it's
much."
rough.
Yeah, it's a tough area.
Greg, it's not that bad.
I don't know.
You
No,
gotta
okay.
know somebody that knows somebody to be in there.
That's right. That's right. Back in the
we have
day.
been, we have been
Melanie,
here.
I
Brandon
just
and I have been-
attached the attachment that you sent us, but I think it was just like what a vision board is.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know if you were trying to use that as the flyer.
Brandon and I have been here
I
for a
can't
whole
even
week.
open
We
it.
have not heard any gunshots. So
Not this week.
what you think?
Not this week.
Not this week.
You got a few hours to go.
Not this week.
Wait till give them about 3 more weeks.
Yeah, oh yeah, Christmas.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
Get them new guns for Christmas.
Yeah. If I hear a shot around here, it better be a backfire of a car.
Oh gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
it's kind of blurry.
Yeah. Can
We
y'all see
can't
that?
see.
Oh, there you go.
No,
Don't that
Come
look like
closer.
her?
Come
it's
closer.
hard to see.
That's the iPhone.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey.
Don't that look like her?
We
Are
can't
you-
really see it.
I
Yeah,
can't
it's
really
hard to see
see
it.
it. Hard to see that.
You need
Now
to
it's blurry.
send it to your iPad or your PC and then share it.
There you go.
Okay, that's
Oh, yeah,
better.
that's better.
Yeah, that looks
Okay.
like her.
Yeah, that looked like
That's
her.
her. And her coming, he don't know which brother it was.
Okay,
I,
Detrell.
I still can't see which one it is.
You don't want to say which one it is because he look like you.
Mhm.
Hmm. He's the
Yeah,
brother
it look
from
like-
another mother. That's why, man, come on, man. That guy's not my brother.
Yes, it is. He look just like you.
What was his
I
name?
got a whole lot of people that look like me and ain't my brother.
How many brothers do you? How many brothers? Wait a minute. Which brother lives with was it Pramila? Pramila
You mean
on Burnham Avenue?
you mean live with her?
Didn't you tell me that your aunt, the
She
deceased?
lives with him.
Excuse me. No. The deceased daughter lives with your brother. I thought you told me that.
Mm-hmm.
You did say it on the call last month.
That's correct.
Okay, which brother is that? What's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah.
Eugene.
Okay, that's who this was in the picture.
Yeah, but you don't know his name, so you know.
That's what I said.
Who you were
I
talking
need to
about?
know.
I forgot to ask my father how many brothers do I have.
Oh
How
God.
many,
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
how many more brothers
How
do you?
many brothers?
How many more brothers do you have? I mean, this is an open forum to learn stuff.
but Jimmy, don't put me on the spot, man.
It's something you can't. Oh, I understand. There's certain things that you don't want. I can ask Reed, but Reed can tell me. I tell you that. Reed knows everything.
Who? Who is it?
Reed on the call here. She knows everything.
Which one?
No, I don't.
This lovely lady right here,
Knows everything about who?
our family.
Oh yeah.
No, I
I'm
don't.
gonna whip the information out. I might learn something.
You know who your brothers are.
I don't know who they are.
Oh
Yes,
gosh.
you do.
Hmm.
Herbert, you don't
Did you
even
have a
drink, so
did
I
you
don't
have
know.
a you had a conversation with them
Yeah,
today?
I did. I took his picture. He was in a hurry and he said, my mother's around here somewhere. And I, they were heading out to the cemetery and I didn't go to the cemetery. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but just take the pictures. Basically, that was it. So that
And you-
was Eugene. I got you.
And you sure that was my brother?
He said, Herb, yeah, you know he's at your brother. He looks just splitting him in his shoe.
No. When he said to you, he doesn't talk like me. We're not twins, so we're not supposed to talk alike.
No, I didn't say you did. I'm telling you what he said.
But why would he
But that
bring
is-
that up? Why would he say that?
First time that I remember ever meeting him.
Really?
I said, I
He had
remember.
He had seen you 1,001 times.
Like I said, your other brother's name is Edmund. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you want to say that's my brother.
I give up.
Oh, Friday night.
I can ask Reeb. She'll tell me if that's your brother.
He's talking about
She's not
Eugene.
saying. So
Jimmy?
that's who's on the
Jimmy?
picture that I just showed you. That was Eugene.
I think so.
When the last time you seen him, Herb?
Oh, it's been some days and months.
Days and months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think he smoked, but he must went by somebody who was smoking that wacky weed.
Who are you talking about now?
You, I'm talking about you.
Oh,
Are you trying to say his head ain't clear, Jimmy?
Right.
Okay,
Well, while we on brothers, I got a text from yours. You, the older Mr. West, I got a text from your brother.
I'm gonna mute you.
Why?
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised.
I'm not saying a word.
I
I'm gonna
did.
pull her. Which
Surprise.
brother? Which brother?
Right.
I'm gonna pull her. Which brother?
He
The
had
one
to
that
bring
live
my
down the
name
street
up.
from
Why
you?
did he have to bring my name up in it?
The one that's
I was
probably
doing
down
some
the street from
genealogy.
you right now.
I was doing some genealogy research. Is why I got his picture.
Okay. All right.
That's why I wanted to come away. And of course, I got Pramila. Is that her name? That's how it's pronounced. Pramila or Pamilia? Premilia. I think that's how she spells her name. The daughter, Madeline's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems
Huh?
to be a nice lady. Okay,
Okay.
I got that.
Primula. Her name is Primula.
Pramila. Okay, gotcha.
Primula.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes. So you had a chance to talk to her today?
Yes, I did.
Good, good, good.
Yes,
Hmm.
I had to represent Maryland, state of Maryland.
I got you. Okay, all right. I really appreciate it.
The relatives from Maryland, I had to represent them. Okay, folks. The next conversation. What's the next topic?
That was kind of weird.
Thanksgiving. Melanie, and her daughter came up to Maryland for Thanksgiving. That was we had a really good weekend. We had for those who don't know, we had 41 people there for dinner.
Oh, my goodness.
And
41.
41.
Great.
We had a nice day. Brenda did 98% of the cooking, and cousin Jim Alfonso Meekins did the turkey and the ham. So just had a great 2 or 3 days, to tell you the truth. So had a good time, and Melanie came up and got back home safely. That's a blessing. And that's a long ride from Silver Spring, Maryland, to Charlotte, or Charlotte to Silver Spring, round trip. A long ride.
Long when you stay up all night, every night.
Well, yeah, that's true. Last year, Gregory was. We were privileged to have Gregory with us, and Gregory's calendar were not allowed this year. We sure missed him. But cousin Jim was there in the chair. Greg, sleep as usual.
Was he in the chair?
You know what? I don't know, because I don't remember going upstairs. I don't know where you slept. I just thought
Jim
about
slept in
that.
the basement. Him and I slept in the basement.
Oh,
He was
so
he said he was going to sleep for like an hour or two. Next morning, he was still there.
That sound like him.
I wonder, did he realize that the chair reclines? Because last year, remember, Greg, he didn't realize that the
I
chair
know he
reclines.
did. Yeah.
I think he did.
Well,
I think he pulled it back.
Are you sure?
I think so. I left him. I think we did an early night that night. It was 2:00 that night. And I left him, and he was getting in the chair.
Yeah, he was getting in the chair, but I don't think he reclined it.
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think.
The only negative one person got was, we found out that night that she was sick, but she's recovered now, and I don't think we have no evidence that she spread it to anybody else. Even though her grandfather has been under the weather for over a week now. I don't know whether he has COVID or not. He just stubborn as hell. Can't
He
get him
still
to
ain't
go to
gonna
the
get no
doctor.
test.
As of 2 days ago, he had not. So I just stubborn as hell. I mean, I had to say some strong words to him because he just pissed me off. He's 84 years old, and you screwing around and not going to the doctor. You can't do that. And you got
Yeah.
COVID-like symptoms. I mean, you need to take care of yourself.
Who is this?
Jim Alfonso Meekins.
Upper Marlboro man?
Yes.
Mhm.
Man,
So
you know
you just
he's real
kinda- just-
smart. You know he's real smart.
It just kind of made me angry. But anyway, he got to spend Thanksgiving with his new granddaughter, and that was good, and great grandchildren. And he's very proud of that. For those who don't know, we're talking about Shannon, that some of us met October of last year on this video call. And so she and her family were there for Thanksgiving, and she found out she had COVID. She got sick that night when she got home, and the day later she tested positive. But
Wow.
she didn't spend much time around anybody at our house other than her grandfather. So the kids are okay, her children okay, and our grandchildren are okay, and all the other kids are okay. So we
And she
were
could have got
blessed.
it. She could have got it in the Uber. Never know.
You right?
You know, that's a good point. That's right. You're right.
Yeah, you
Nobody
never
else-
really know where you're getting it from.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
You gotta
Yeah,
think back
so,
where you've been around and who you've been around.
Right.
So this is the family reunion, and at our house on Thanksgiving were the only two times so far that she's been able to spend a lot of time around her new family, the Meekins. So that's a plus. I've talked to her over the phone, just checking on her, see how she's doing. And I can tell you, and seeing her in person, she was a very bright girl. She's very, very smart. And as a matter of fact, we were at her home in October, I guess it was. We took our grandchildren over to a birthday party for her youngest daughter, Catalina, to turn 8 years old about a month or so ago. So, but we welcomed her. As Greg said it in October of last year. Regardless of whether you're family or not, you're family now.
That's
And
right.
we have treated her like that, and she really does appreciate it. And she has a half brother, Mikhail, who's stationed in Germany. I think he's in Germany right now. So they had a long 4-hour conversation this past week, and video call, as a matter of fact. And so she got to know her half brother.
That's good.
So that's very, very special. And she is 35 years old, for those who don't know. And through DNA, she's found her father and, of course, grandfather and the rest of us Meekins. So that's a really good news story. DNA, she found her through DNA, which took her to this point. And her dad seems to be dragging his feet a little bit on taking the test. But if he doesn't, the grandfather's going to take it, and the half brother's going to take it. So that's where that stands. But we're pretty sure that she's one of us. She's one of us. So that was a good thing on for Thanksgiving Day. And now, what about the rest of the year to the rest of you all?
Well, today is my mother's birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy
So
birthday.
Doretha and I got tattoos to represent our love for her. We know that when the red cardinals come around, she's in our presence.
Mhm.
So
Okay. So what'd you get? Cardinal?
yeah, big old cardinal on my
Let's
arm.
see.
Mm.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Where's yours? The wreath?
Mine is on my calf, but my jeans are too tight for me to pull them up.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't stress you over it.
Let me see.
And
we
what
go.
we did, we buried her ashes with my father in Evergreen Cemetery in Brooklyn today.
Today? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow,
I'm
that's
still
special.
debating what to do with my mom's
yeah, that
ashes. I
is.
have no clue yet. I need to consult my daughter with what we should do. Oh, there you go. Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
All right.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, this is the 10th anniversary, and these 10 years have really passed quickly.
Oh, yeah. They go quick. You
But
know?
we really miss her. The family is not the same without her.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Mhm,
I know what it's about.
mhm.
Never really get over it.
Nope.
Nope, 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 sure
I
don't.
never ever thought I would miss my mother this much, but I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think about her daily, believe it or not.
I remember her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Despite what everybody says, it never gets easier.
Nope.
I've learned that it just becomes more bearable to deal with the fact that I can't talk to her every day or I can't see her every day.
I
But
hear you.
it's not any easier than
Oh yeah.
the
I'm never
first
going to
day it
get over it.
happened.
I'm not
No.
going to get past it. I know that.
Nope. 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 No, no, no. Okay, any more stories, good news stories?
My pops
Bad
is
Oh.
coming again this Christmas. I must did good last year. He's coming again.
Mhm.
Reed, anything you
Yes.
want to tell us about 2022?
I don't know. I don't have anything to, to actually say or talk about. But I can tell you this, Doris and Detrell, when I think about my parents, and they've passed, or when I think about any loved one that passed, they only physically pass.
Yeah.
Their memories and their soul is forever. The soul never dies. And my loved ones, they live in me. And because they live in me, they don't die.
Amen.
And so this may be one way that it can ease the pain of not having someone physically there, to accept the fact that their soul never die, but they live in you as well. Your parents live in you, but the Creator says the soul never dies.
Amen.
Amen.
That's well said.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you
Well
for that.
said.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to remember that.
And she definitely lives in Detroit because a lot of things that Detroit does is definitely like my mom.
Mhm.
And she has definitely become the mom to me that my mom was. So like little things that she does, I'm like, that's mommy. Yep. So her soul
Wow.
definitely lives on.
Yes.
She never said that to me before.
Wow.
And no
Wow.
crying. Cut it out. No crying.
I'm not gonna
Wow.
cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
Good.
it's being
Very good.
recorded.
Yes, yes, yes,
Wow.
yes.
This is
Mhm.
special.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Arif. Anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know. My gracious. Sometimes I can be extremely long-winded, but often when I'm when I'm put on the spot, I'm not used to that.
It's okay.
I'm just so happy to have remembered today was Friday and 8 o'clock, because it's been at least six, it feels like 6 months. But and each time when I would get the email, I would say, oh, good. And I put it on the calendar and I'd make a mental note, and it would be 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night before I realized this was the Friday. And I would, keep trying to find a way to remember the second Friday. I'm also trying to get siblings and cousins and what have you, to try to put some time in to come on to the to this family chat, because it's important to actually speak with the family and to
Yes.
interface with the family. It's very important. When we were growing up, that was the one thing I do that stays with me forever, and it will always stay with me. The fact that when the family would come together, there would be days like Aunt Mary, because of her work, the type of work she did, and she was she worked with global designers. You know, she had her own seamstress business, and they used to call her and express to her what they were trying to design in the way of a clothing, but they couldn't get it out in themselves, so they would call her. She would design the clothes, make the full pattern, and then send it overseas to them, and then we'd run to the store and we want to buy some of those designer outfits and things. But many of those high-ebb European designers, she made it possible for them to stay alive, because they would call her when their brain cell couldn't figure out what are they going to do this time. They would call her, and she would design the whole thing, make from beginning to end, make the pattern, make the outfit, send it overseas, and they put their name on it. And she would be busy like nobody's business. So there was only a short window, maybe 2 months out of a whole year, that we might have time to visit with Aunt Mary. And at that time, everybody would convene over to her house. And I can recall as a young child, when my parents would say, or my mother would say, it's going to be very crowded. And I would say, I wonder where I'm going to sit. You know, will there be a seat for me to sit? You know, because you're there all night. And there was one of her brothers who always put me on his knee, and I'd sit at the table, and I'm sitting there. I had to been at least maybe 4, you know, and I would sit there just listening to everybody talking. During one of those, when I was around 4 years old, just listen to everybody talking, and you hear these voices. Now, these things stay with me. I remember a conversation I once had with my father about one gathering, and he jumped up out of off the couch. He was shocked. He said, "You were only 2 years old." I said, "But I remember all the conversations." And I began to recite to him the things that was going on. I was just blessed at that time to have a very good memory. Somewhere down these roads, the last few years, they kind of went, you know, "Oh, maybe we don't want you to remember so much now. Take it easy." But I could, you know, many times recall word for word almost anything that anybody had ever said. When I think about these things, that made it good for me to have a good memory when I was in school, because if you told me something in September when it was time to take the final, all I'd have to do is click in on it, and I could write down the answers verbatim of whatever we recited. Somewhere down the road, like I said, my little Jean said, "We'll give you a rest now." So the memory is not as great as it used to be, but it was always great going to the different relatives. Every Saturday was grandmother's the day to the grandma's house. That's Georgia Meekins. And there was hardly a Saturday that went by that we didn't go to her house, and then all the cousins were there. Sometimes, once in a while, my mom would bring us over to her brother, Uncle Charles Wilson. And
That's our
and
grandfather.
yes. It was, so we'd go either over to your mother's house or to, because Uncle Charles married 4 times. Uncle Charles was one thing, he believed very strongly in family, extremely. And his rule, as I said, he married 4 times, and each one of us had to recognize one another as cousins. No such thing as, well, you not this, or you're not the real this or that. He wouldn't have that. When any of the children got married, they would, he would dance with all the wives of the ones who, he would dance with each one of the wives. All the wives would show up. You knew family. And because of that, that shaped me 1000% plus to have a great love for family, because family was my entire world growing up. I was among the youngest of all of them, of all the grandchildren. And so I'm there listening to everybody. I'd have time to sometimes, when the crowd got a little smaller, to converse and what have you. But for the most part, I spent a lot of time listening because I was among the youngest of the group, of all the nieces and nephews and grandchildren, and until the great-grandchildren came along and the great-great-grandchildren came along. But they shaped my life to be among the aunts and uncles and great aunts and great uncles and great great aunts and great great uncles. They shaped my life. They made me who I am in so many ways. And I allowed, I thank the Creator because they live in me. They literally live in me. And they enrich my life because we were constantly interfacing with one another. Saturdays was was the best day of the week because you're around the family. And on Sundays, my father would take us over to Brooklyn, and we'd be among some of his family members. So fortunately, we got to know many of, a large percentage, even though it was a small percentage, it was a large percentage of family, and interact with them. But both families, my mom's side and my father's side, were extremely large families. A lot of people. I remember once when I worked for a call center for the New York Times, and I took a phone call from one of the recipient that would get the New York Times, and they did that article of Sally Hemings, which is a part of the family. And I answered that phone call. And when the caller, I let her, tell me everything she had to tell me. And then I introduced myself to her to let her know that we were relatives. And we exchanged numbers, and I connected her with Aunt Emma and Aunt Mary. And I also had connected another Woodson that lived there on the same block that my father moved in when we moved to Teaneck. And so, but with her significantly, when I connected them, that was the first time in 200 years that that part of the family had actually connected with everybody who was from basically Virginia. They were up in Ohio. That was when, yeah, that was when Carter, let's see. I'm trying to think, no, forget Carter. That was during the time when the North and South, toward the end of the Civil War period, and it was I'm trying to remember the name because it's been a long time. It's been quite a few years since I read the story. He had, there was a slave master who he was rented out to, and who was always just mean for the sake of being what we might call mean. And what happened, he wound up, one of our relatives, he wound up beating up the slave master. So now he had to flee Virginia. And Union soldiers had found him in the woods when he was fleeing. And they asked him what was he doing in that part of the woods. And he let them know what was going on. And they had him get on the back of one of the horses, brought him back to that slave master, had him beat him up again, and then they made sure he got up into Ohio where he was safe. And that part of the family had been up there ever since. And I think that part of the family was Woodson's. It came from the Woodson. And the reason why I say I'm thinking that is if I'm remembering Carter, I think it was, no, it wasn't Carter, it was one of the other brothers had gone up into Ohio to search for his brother, make sure everything was okay, and they wind up staying there. And so when cousin called the New York Times and she introduced herself and told me why she was calling, because she wanted that article that Congress had said that all of Sally Hemings' children were from Jefferson by their DNA testing, what have you. She wanted to get some more of those articles. She wanted to buy more papers. When I introduced myself, we discovered that it had been 200 years since they had actually spoken with another family member from the East. You know, and we had exchanged, like I said, information, and I would then get the newsletters and things from her for when they were having family reunions. And during that period, I found that we had family members in Carolina that would have family reunions the same time that we would have the family reunions from the Virginian side of the family and DC side of the family. And at the same time, Ohio was having family reunions. I guess we kind of think alike in that sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, although I wanted to go to the Ohio, and I wanted to go down to the Carolina because I wanted to meet more family members because of my influence of growing up with family in the New York area. Because of other things, other community things I was involved in, I never really got the chance to visit with those two sides of the family. We have one of the largest families one could ever have. In fact, a friend of mine who, well, she passed a while back, but for 45 years, we were the closest of friends. And it was only when I went to her funeral that I discovered that we were actually relatives. Dating go all the way back to Sally Hemings. I was talking with her grandson and some of her nephews, and in the conversation they mentioned something that I stopped them and explored it a little further and found out that we were relatives. And I had no way of knowing in those 45 years. The only good thing is in 45 years, and we spent a lot of time together. Never once did we have an argument. Never once did we get angry with one another. In 45 years.
That's great.
And we were very, very close. And I said,
that's one of the good things that we have learned over the last 25 or 30 years that we've been getting together, is that we work or know people, work with people or know people, they don't realize we're kin. Cousin Emma and Olsa Meekins Jr. worked together for many years in Philadelphia, and then didn't know they were relatives. They were cousins. That's amazing. Another story, we had something going on in Virginia, a family reunion or cookout type function, and neighbors in DC, one telling the other one, I'm going to Virginia to my family reunion cookout. The other one said, I'm going down there too. Living right across the street from one another. They were cousins. Never knew
to me.
See?
Happened to me. I was in the giant food store where I used to live. And it got back there, you know, used to go back there and get seafood on Fridays. He kept telling me he was from Virginia, but I didn't pay him too much attention. But this particular morning, they had a machine where you could get coffee out of, and we met right there. And he said, I know you from Virginia. I said, why? He said, because I can tell by the way you make your coffee. I thought it was kind of strange for him to say that, right? But anyway, make a long story short, it was having the affair at your mother's house, Jimmy. It was like a picnic, get together, whatever. Whole bunch of folks was there. Never will forget it. And he had beat me down there. And he saw the brother that you just pointed out and was talking to him. He thought he was talking to me. He said, he asked him, he said, but what are you doing here? The same brother you met today. He said, what are you doing here? Like that. My brother didn't know what to say because he didn't know him. He had never seen him before. But I had no idea. I've been knowing this man like 5 or 6 years that worked at the giant food store. You see him once or twice a week. I didn't know anything about him, you know. But apparently he knew you, Jimmy. Yeah. He knew you, but he had no connection to think that him and I or you and I knew each other.
That's right.
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
And we laugh and joke about it. And it happened probably a lot back in the old days when we didn't get around too much, physically get around. Cousins were dating cousins because you didn't know that was your cousin. I lived right with my great grandmother in New Kent. when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. The Lawrences lived next door. I had no idea we were cousins. The Elwood and I were best of friends. We'd go across the road down into the woods by the creek and catch turtles and stuff like that. I didn't know we were cousins because everybody said, "Hey, cousin Gertie, cousin." It meant nothing to me as 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old kid. And then I found out many years later, we're kids. Ellen Lawrence, I think the name is right. She married a Meekins and they moved to New Jersey. That's where all those Meekins, like Greg's mom, that's where they came from. I didn't know the Lawrences. I lived right next door to them. Didn't know it as a kid. But and so you can see you kind of not start dating people. You dating your cousin and you don't know it. But now that people are out and about and all over the place, we have a little bit more freedom, and you got social networks and et cetera, the internet. I think that's probably it's less likely that's going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen as much as it used to. Let's put it that way. Except maybe back in the coal mines over in West Virginia or something like that. Herb, did you want to share something about 2022?
2022.
Yes. Anything you want to share with us before we wind down?
You
Or
put
as
me
we
on the
wind
spot.
down?
Yeah, put me on the
Okay.
spot. It's been a good year, been a great year. I got better plans for next year.
Amen.
Yeah.
And for
But
those who
y'all-
don't know, Herb moved from Oxon Hill, Maryland, down to Waldorf, which is a higher, a plum or whatever you call it, the state. It's not the ghetto. Let's put it this way. Down in Waldorf, Yes, it is. Upper class, upper. He's not in the upper room. Maybe he is an upper room. I don't know. But anyway, he up there now. I still
Is
live
that
in
off of 301?
Yes. You
I've
come right
gone
through
by
that.
there plenty of times on my way to Tappahannock.
But if you see Herb on side the road, that's him.
Next time I go through there, Herb, I'm gonna check you out.
17, Route 17.
17,
go.
okay.
So yeah, it's been a good year for him and his family, which is
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
I have been in Herb and his family's company probably about 3 or 4 times, at least this year, which is always a joy. I hadn't seen his daughter Pam in quite a while, but I've seen her a couple of times this year, so yeah, Herb's had a good year. Leslie, you have anything to add? Hello, Leslie.
I'm thinking about that turkey and ham y'all had for Thanksgiving.
Let me tell
And
you what, Herb, it was good.
I know. I've
It
been there one time, and that's where I really remember Wayne them being there.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that when I came the first time, the very first time
Right.
on Thanksgiving. But it was really, really good. And your boy Meekins, he showed off like he usually do. Everything.
Yeah.
Because he gets on my case a lot.
Yeah. This was the 44th straight year that we have entertained family members and friends for dinner. We started in Pittsburgh. We were Mom, my mother, and Leslie would come up on a Greyhound bus from Richmond and spend the holidays with us, Thanksgiving holidays, and that's how it started. And every Thanksgiving since then, my wife has prepared dinner, primarily my wife, every year, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And she's a tremendous cook. Her dad taught her well, especially when it comes down to cleaning and cooking chitlins. Just tremendous. I have 30 pounds of frozen chitlins at home now, so I guess I won't get them till next year.
Well, you can keep them right there.
till next year.
I used to eat them because I didn't have any choice in this house. And now I have a choice and I don't touch it.
And as far as the ham, our cousin Jim Alfonso Meekins prepared the ham. He fixes he prepares the best ham I've ever eaten in my life. I just,
Yeah, I
Yeah, he's
agree.
good.
and I
He's good. He's good.
and I have a 18-pound one here in the refrigerator that on my way back to Maryland tomorrow, I'm gonna probably drop it off at his house so he can prepare it for me for us
Christmas.
for Christmas. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's he's a tremendous cook. So I got to enjoy it while he's 84 years old now. So we
Yeah.
don't know how much longer he gonna have that magic touch. But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
takes his time and he puts all the grapes and cherries and all that. He was a professional cook, as
Yeah.
I've said before, in the United States Army. So,
Marines.
excuse me, Marines, you're right. You're right. Jaden, do you have anything to offer? You have a good year this year? Unmute yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You want to tell us about it?
Can't see you.
No.
You want to tell us about the good year you had?
No.
What
You
about
don't
your
wanna tell us?
clothing? What about your clothing line?
Good.
Your closing. You want to tell us about your closing business? Your clothes business?
Why?
He's not. He just turned 9 years old. He has a business. He has
Wonderful.
his own business and got his own cash app and got his own ATM, his own bank account. So,
What?
Great.
oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's
Him
very good.
past me.
And see, Arif, you talked about photographic memory. This kid has the same thing. He said we noticed him when he was around 3 years old, and he has
Yes,
that kind of memory. So
that's
when you were saying
fantastic.
it, I thought about him. He's an outstanding young man, very, very bright and intelligent young man.
That's a
Very bright.
blessing. That's a
Yes.
blessing.
Yes, it is. I like to say he got it from me, but no, that's a gift from God. That's the only
It's
thing
in the genes somewhere. It's in the
Yeah.
genes.
Lord, thank you. It came from you. I mean, does anybody have anything else?
Oh, one thing, you mentioned who had COVID. He's 84. Tell him if he has the congestion. If he has congestion, if he get a hold of it's called Himalaya salt. If you boil water and put the Himalaya salt in it, that steam that's produced, the salty steam that's produced, if he holds his head, cover the pot with a towel, hold his head and breathe in, it'll take all the mucus out of the brain, that's filtering around the brain, the chest, the lungs. It actually removes all that mucus. You can do it twice a day. You'd never know he had COVID.
Wow.
That's
Talking
how
about
light
the
it
pink
releases.
Himalayan salt.
The pink Himalaya
Got some of
salt.
that in the
Yes.
cabinet.
Wow.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Yes.
very much so.
My son and I had to do that when he came home one day from work. He said he was sent home early. He had COVID. I got it, and I keep Himalaya salt on me. And he started boiling the water, and I went right behind him, did the same thing, and it lifted. It removes all that mucus, all that's caught up in the throat, you feel in the chest and lower part. It just drains all the mucus out of you, and you're so clear that you don't even know you have COVID.
Okay,
It works
will-
like a charm.
I will pass it along to him.
Mhm.
I'm hoping I'll see him tomorrow. He has a tendency of not answering his telephone. I'm just hard-headed. That's my good cousin. That's why I can say what I say about him. And I'm at his house at least 2 or 3 times a month. So, and we don't live close together. We're probably about 20 miles apart. But I make my business to visit him because at his age, we need to look after one another and take care of one another and do whatever we can for one another. Growing up, this is what we did as family. We did this.
Yes.
We looked after one another. So, does anybody else have anything? Greg, did you okay?
I'm good.
Melanie, anything else?
Well, No. I hope to see
Okay.
my cousins. We'll have our second annual First Cousins meeting, hopefully, or weekend, hopefully, if we can get our weekends together. We were trying to do spring break, but all the kids are on vacation different weeks, so it may be another weekend instead of a whole week. So, but
Okay.
other than that,
Just
we're
let me
trying
know when you want to.
start the
Well,
planning.
okay. Just let me know
Jimmy,
if you need my help.
Okay.
got a question,
Uh,
Jimmy.
yes, sir.
Elwood Lawrence, I remember him very well in high school.
Mhm.
Is he still around?
No, he died. He was approximately maybe maybe in his 20s or early 30s.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
he had moved. His family had moved to Newport News, Virginia, and I was told that it was drug related.
Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I think he has a sister that still lives in Newport News, Hampton area. Her name is Bernie Steen.
Know her very
Uh,
well.
Okay, I think that's his sister, if I remember
It is.
correctly.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I remember that mother. I remember that dad. That daddy was that man. That man could drink some liquor, boy. I'm a tell you.
And
He
he
could
was
drink some liquor.
and he
He
would go.
worked 5 days a week and took care of his family. But on the weekend was his. But I remember, and his wife was beautiful. She was a pretty one. If you know Bernstein, that's where she got her beauty from her mama.
Hmm.
That mama was, oh, she was pretty lady. But oh yeah, that was Elwood and I. He was my first best friend.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
we did everything together.
just want to piggyback. You knew where Cruz was, right?
Yes.
Okay. He would be up there on Friday nights dancing with all the ladies. Their dad. I remember him. I wasn't supposed to
That's
be
it.
in there, but I was in there.
Yeah, see, I was too young. I could be in there.
You
That's
weren't
why
supposed to be there.
he partied on the weekend.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Mhm.
That's funny. We all back then we all kind of knew people, whether it's family or not family. They would work hard all the week, all during the week. When Friday came, the
That's
weekend was for them. And then
well,
Sunday night, they get themselves straight for Monday morning.
well,
Mm,
well, on the side of town where I was, I couldn't buy beer because they knew how old I was. But I
right.
could go over to Cruise and get all the beer I wanted. But they didn't
Mm.
know who I was. But
You know, you're older than me. I could. That's why I was at home. I
you was
couldn't
at
do that.
home. I don't even think you was in New Kent at the time.
No, I wasn't. I had moved to Richmond by then. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would come down to that neck of the woods.
Joneses.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally.
Yard, you
Yeah,
and yard, yeah.
yeah. My aunt, Laura Meekins Miles. Yeah, we come in and catch the bus there. Then we didn't have a car, but I tagged
Oh,
behind her. We didn't have a car. No, catch the
back in,
bus. You catch the
back.
bus. You check the trailways or the Greyhound.
That's correct.
And I
That's correct.
and I think I mentioned on this call one time before. Cruise closed. I don't know, midnight or 1 o'clock or whatever. And we like two fools stand on the side of Route 60 with a handkerchief trying to wave down the bus coming along.
That's right. That's right. I remember
I
that.
mean, pitch black out there. I mean, think about that.
But you
We
see,
were stupid. We were really stupid. We didn't have a problem. We had a problem. If that bus had been in the passing lane, boy, it would have been all over. We talk about in the country. There's no street lights out there.
It still ain't none, is it?
and you would get up on the bus,
That's right.
and you would get up on the bus and give the man 65 cents,
And then come on to Richmond.
and come on to Richmond.
Wow.
I miss her. She passed away a couple of 3 years ago, and I miss her
Mm.
tremendously. So yeah.
Yeah. Jones
Okay,
would be
folks.
jumping this time.
Oh yeah. Folks, for those of you and those of us who celebrate the Christmas holidays, I hope you have a wonderful one. This year has been wonderful. I love the fact that we have been able to see one another, communicate with one another. We had a very successful family reunion. Of course, I'm biased because our association was primarily responsible for it, with the additional help from the executive committee. So that was the highlight of our year. Extended family, I should say. That was wonderful. We didn't have any major sicknesses this year in our immediate family that I can recall right offhand. We didn't have any new babies born. We did have a negative, and of course, my nephew back in January, Melanie's brother, that was the bad part with our immediate family. But January 3rd, it'll be 1 year, and it's hard to fathom that. It just, I'm right across the street from where he passed away right now, and it's just, it still doesn't seem real, to tell you the truth. So that was the major drawback this year in our immediate family. But in thinking about our extended family, and I think about the family members who've been on these calls since I think the trail came up with this idea of these cousins night. I think this a long time ago, a year and a half or so ago, or 2 years, how long it's been. We've seen a lot of family members on this call that are no longer with us. And it's real sad. It's very sad to see that when you stop and think about it. But the good part is most of those sessions are on YouTube. You can go back at any point in time and look at it. Of course, the oldest participant was the lady from cousin from New York that the trail introduced us to. She was 98 years old at the time, and of course she passed away not too very long after she was on there. What struck me was her mind was still sharp, and she knew family members and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll probably never live to be 98 in the first place. But and then Dr. Ashford, who passed away in October. Alfred was on this call earlier this year when we recognized his niece. I think it was his niece, Celeste Mann. I remember him vividly. A really nice guy. By the way, I might have mentioned to you before, his wife, Dr. Velvey, she's going to continue to support us, especially our scholarship funding. She said it was very dear to her husband, Dr. Alfred. So I remember that. But what I'm saying is these sessions that we have are very, very, very important.
They are.
Very important. And I am so thankful that technology has allowed us to get together like this, and more important, to preserve it and put it on YouTube for others who are not here. They're able to see it. And I'm repeating myself. I'm never going to stop saying how grateful I am to Greg for all he does to help us with our family. So again, I think we're going to sign off now. I really, this has been a fun session. We didn't have any specific thing we want to talk about. I think it's kind of nice to close the year out. Just talk about whatever we want to talk about. So
I'll agree.
So everybody have a great holiday, safe holiday. And we look forward to seeing you in 2023. And Detrell, I believe you're scheduled to be host next month. Is that correct?
I believe so.
I might need to change that depending on our, as I mentioned earlier, our honorees availability.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right.
Okay.
I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. So once we get the Zoom thing set or our vision board set up, so we can set up a time for if you can set up a Zoom for us.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Merry
All right.
Christmas, Happy
Stay
New
safe.
Year.
Stay
Same to you
safe.
all.
Holidays.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night.